but it's
Are we started?
Yes.
Okay, let me just see. Am I recording this? Hello, everyone. I'm live streaming apparently from the Interactive Media Arts Program and ITP at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts. So my name is Dan. You're watching The Coding Train, which is this YouTube channel. I feel very awkward and embarrassed about doing this right now. I want to just get a couple of logistic things out of the way. This microphone is not actually doing anything. It is recording audio as like backup audio, but there is a new mic attached to the phone that we're live streaming. And so hopefully you can hear me. People can hear me? Yeah, okay, great. So just hopefully let us know in the chat how the audio is. Oh, look at the camera.
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking at the mic, yes. Let us, thank you. Let us know in the chat how the audio is doing. Hopefully it's going to be better this year than any other year before. So this is what you're tuning into. There are two programs here. There's an undergraduate program called IMA, Interactive Media Arts. There's a graduate program called ITP, Interactive Telecommunications Program. It's a 2-year master's program. Both of these programs are at Tisch School of the Arts, which is this building, 721 Broadway, in Manhattan, in New York City, and then a part of New York University. So this is the end of semester show of all of the students' work. There are probably over 100 projects. I don't know how many we'll get to. We've gotten to like 30 plus projects before. We'll go for an hour or two until we all lose steam. Thank you to Adi, who's behind the camera, and Mitru here is helping monitoring the chat. And so I'm just going to wander around and show you projects. What else do I want to say? Anything important? I think that's good. And then at some point I'll also probably try to make an edited compilation video of just the highlights of the projects. All right, so let's move. Hey Kemi, how's it going over there? You want to be our first project? Okay, so we're going to come on over here and take a look at Kemi's project. So tell us your name and a few sentences about your project, and we'll get some kind of B-roll footage of it as well.
Okay, my name is Kemi, Adekemi Sijuwade. I have a multi-modal thumb piano that you can play in the browser live several ways. So right now, Dan was playing it with his nose, so you can use his facial recognition to allow you to play in the browser. That's one way of playing it. And then the other way of playing it is through the touch screen. So you could just touch the notes, the keys on the screen and it plays.
And for people who aren't familiar with the thumb piano, can you tell us a little bit about the origins and history of the thumb piano, why the notes are the way they are, or just some context there? No, sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just meant I'm interested in the thumb piano as an instrument.
It's an instrument that has been used in several parts of Africa for a very long time. It has different shapes, and a lot of the shapes are like made in a calabash, which is round. Because of the resonator, once you put the keys on top of it, this is like the modern version of it, which is like a square box, with a resonator in the middle. I made it actually for people with weak finger muscles, for like an adaptive purpose, so that they can play an instrument and engage, with music, through the browser without having to worry about plucking the notes, and trying to make music with muscles that may not be functional.
Fantastic, great work. And you made this with P5, perhaps?
Yes.
No, there's no requirement to use P5.js here. I just have to ask.
Well, yes, I used P5, and it was quite refreshing and relieving to use P5 to do it because it gives you all the tools to just sort of like create something, with coding. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
P5 and ML5.
Yes, and ML5 too, right? So this is CodeNet that's doing the tracking.
Yes,
yes. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Go by, please. This is maybe not operational yet. But can we try this project here? Can you tell us about it?
So this is an app that.
Oh, tell us your name too.
Hi, Mingna. I'm Mingna. It's an app that lets people compliment each other. So while you wait for the elevator, you can get a quick compliment. Like that, and then it's all generated from the database that people left before, so you could something there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Here, take this, yes. That was not very creative.
that was awesome.
Okay, so the next person won't necessarily get that compliment. They'll get a random one, but that one is just entered down into the possibility.
Yeah, that's right. It's saved into a database.
I love the idea of just like a database of compliments. It's such a nice thing.
Yeah, I got it for the yesterday.
Fantastic. Great job.
Thank you.
The mic isn't too great apparently if they're picking up a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
Talk a little louder.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just tell people to talk louder. So that doesn't surprise me that we've never had like great audio. At least I'm capturing this audio, and we'll be able to put stuff together afterwards. But thank you for the feedback. Okay. Yeah. So let's go over here. Let's see. So I just want to like mention what's going on here. So for the first time ever, perhaps. Oh, I remember something I wanted to talk about. Not the first time ever, but it's been a little while. But now, this year at the ITP show, there is a performance room, and this is actually the performance schedule. So at 4:26 p.m., Matt Ross will be performing Pillow Talk. Oh, there's an introduction before that. Emma will be producing Complication of the Computer Mouse at 4:54 p.m. Can you tell us what that's about?
Sure.
This is Emma.
It is a lecture based on about 6 months of research on the computer mouse as an object. Also talking about how gender is enacted through computing through the mouse, through the materiality of it.
Yeah, don't worry about speaking up into this mic.
Okay, I have to speak
It's
louder.
this mic that's actually picking you up.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's gonna be fun.
Great. Well, we're going to try to sneak in to catch some of the performances.
That would be
later.
great. We're gonna be right on time. So.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. All right. All right. Do you want to tell us quickly about your projects?
Sure.
Just tell us your name and a few words about what we're seeing here.
Sure. My name is Michael Blum, and this is a platform to help educate users about some of the recent advances in natural language generating technology, which are basically, you can consider algorithms that are capable of generating text similar to what you or I would write. And I think it's important to sort of learn more about them and know more about them because not only would we be better able to sort of harness these technologies for creative ends, but also just be more conscientious of some of the sort of not so great things about them. I mean, there's a lot of issues surrounding bias and misuse, so those are some things that I'd like to sort of shine some light on.
Can people find this online if they're looking for it?
It is not currently online. It is local. But,
okay, yes.
But it will. This is a prototype, but I'm planning on launching this.
Okay, awesome. Great. Well, we're going to include links in the video's description to all the different projects, so hopefully if this goes online, people will find it through there. Great. Awesome. Okay, let's come check this out.
Yeah.
All right, tell us your name and a few sentences about your project.
I'm Conchinha, and this is P5JS Shaders. I worked on it with my partner Louise Lessel, and it's essentially a collection of examples of shaders in P5 that are basically, and a guide to basically show people what they can do with shaders in P5, why they want to use shaders in P5 versus your load pixel function, and basically just different use cases and how to get started. So I have a couple of different examples using the webcam, and I have them all running in my browser, and it's not slowing down at all. So they're very performative, which is one of the main reasons why you want to use them. And here's the sort of like documentation page that we're go through the why, the what, the how, and like this is just like some kittens with using load pixels to increase the brightness depending on distance from the mouse. And if you do it in shaders, it's way faster.
So you just switched from low pixels to shader by clicking that button.
Yeah.
And oh wow. So what would you if people are maybe they know a little P5, they know a little JavaScript, but have never done any shaders before? The idea of a shader is completely new to them. Where would you suggest that they get started? Is this a place where they could actually get started?
Absolutely, yeah. You could definitely get started here. We go through what shaders are, how to get them set up in P5, and we even like some explanation about what's actually going on in the background. So yeah, if you want to, and even how to use this resource with other resources like Book of Shaders.
Right.
Yeah, we teach you how to set up a file for that.
And this is the URL up there.
Also bit.ly/P5 shaders.
Okay, so that's bit.ly/P5 shaders. Awesome. Cool. I mean, I get that requested a lot. Tutorials on shaders, and I have never done that. So this will be helpful.
Great. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Coming this way. Hey, you want to join us in a little while?
In a little while, yeah.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
find us. Okay. We're going to maybe take a little break from me and have a Spanish language version of the live stream. Okay, let's stop here. We'll talk about the feedback mirror. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
I'm Bora Aydintug. This is feedback mirror made in processing. It's using the letter I to visualize the camera image, but it's also measuring the overall image to create some sort of feedback. It's adjustable through these elements.
So when you started, now I can understand what's going on much more now because this is very clear to me. I see the one-to-one relationship between pixel and kind of angle of this line. When you started, it had this almost like swirling, fluid-like quality to it. What's that effect, or what's the parameter that you're adjusting?
So there are two different angles. One is the angle that's meant to the brightness of the camera image.
Right.
The other one is the brightness data of the overall image. So if the elements started touching each other, they started doing these recursive patterns.
Oh wow, that's really a nice effect. So that's off right now.
That is off because they're not touching.
Okay.
Because the angle is already like above 0, so they should be.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there you go.
And this mode and this mode, they're usually the same thing. I don't know why it's like soft like this, but it depends on the value you call in setup. So even if you change it afterwards, it just stays that way. So these are the exact same two things, but this one is rendered as a pre-graphics outside, so I'm just calling the image.
Yeah. Wonderful. It's a very unique, I've seen lots of variations of this kind of idea, but this idea of having this extra feedback angle is very unique and creates beautiful effects. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. This is the Crater Creator is a super fun game, but we'll have to come back to that. Well, let's come here and check out Billy's project. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Sure, my name is Billy Bennett, and I have a P5 sketch with some particles, which you may recognize from the Nature of Code series. But yeah, I rigged up this musical wand to play music as you swing it across. And it's based on the music of Hailu, Mergia, who's a Louisiana jazz artist. And he has this kind of rolling right hand style of music that I tried to mimic with this wand. So you don't skip any notes, you know. You can send them away and they don't come back.
Has anyone played this in a way that surprised you or that you weren't expecting? Or it's mostly a lot of waving around?
It's mostly a lot of waving around and confusion. They're like, what do I do? But once they kind of get the left and right motion, they start having fun. Yeah, enjoyed it.
I really love the way you're sort of instigating these moments of the balls popping up. It's a very delightful quality to it.
Thanks, thank you.
Okay, Hey Dan, I know this might be hard to explain in this context, but let's give it a try.
Sure.
So will you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Sure. My name is Dan Oved, and this is my thesis at ITP, the self-driving human. It's about what does the future feel like when our devices are making decisions for us, some that are very uncomfortable. So
speak up, yeah.
So yeah.
Don't worry about this microphone.
Okay. So making when a future when devices are making decisions for us that might make us uncomfortable. So I made a artificial intelligent device that makes me do what's very uncomfortable, which is talking to strangers. And the way it works is that when it identifies people, it I don't know if you can see here on the camera. So there's it's identifying people. Using the Coral, which is a machine learning piece of hardware, it gives me an instruction. And then I basically went around parks in New York and subways talking to strangers. And here's a documentation video. Yeah, it's a better experience with sound on, but you can check out my website and see the nice documentation video of this. But yeah, it was a great project. I spoke to a lot of people and bent boundaries I never thought would have existed. Yeah.
And can you talk about, so for someone who might be familiar a little bit with machine learning, and maybe has done some stuff on just either in JavaScript in the browser or using TensorFlow and Python, what do they need to know or figure out to get it to run on a Raspberry Pi like you've done here?
Sure. So this Raspberry Pi is using what's called a Coral Edge TPU accelerator, which can do machine learning locally without needing to send any data to the internet. And basically, the API is super simple. You just send this thing an image, and then it'll give you back detection boxes where it estimates a person is, or a chair, or a cup. And you actually don't need to really know that much about machine learning to use this, because it's a few lines of Python code where all that stuff is abstracted away. And it's using what's called a pre-trained machine learning model, which has been trained to recognize about 70 objects.
Is this the YOLO model?
This is MobileNet.
MobileNet. Okay, it's MobileNet. Okay.
Yeah, and some research, something I didn't get to finish for this was being able to train custom models to recognize specific objects. But I want to work on that on the summer so that people can basically create any kind of detection model and then upload it to the Coral so they can create a machine learning device that's what's best for them. Custom, personalized and all that stuff, yeah.
Great job.
Yeah.
Have you changed your behavior now when you're not using this?
Yeah, I mean, I start asking baristas how's your day going, and I get really nice responses that I would have never. I mean, I don't really, to be honest, it's just made me understand new things about people, and I don't really use it that much anymore. But it's just to change my perception and just more aware people on the street. Yeah.
Awesome. Great job. All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Can I interrupt to ask you about your project?
Sure.
So tell us your name and a little bit about what you made.
Okay, I did. Hi everybody, I'm Elizabeth, and I worked on a project where I looked for people in the Library of Congress who are featured in the New York Times' overlooked obituary feature. So I put together a data set of these 16 people who are about half the people who have been recently given obituaries only for the first time. So some people, you might be surprised that they didn't receive an obituary at the time they died. So I decided to ask, in another institution, have they been overlooked there as well? So I asked some questions, put together some data by searching the online collections of the Library of Congress, and use that to kind of power the interaction here. So the questions down here correspond to the buttons that you can press to find out, are they in the Library of Congress at all? Do they have a name authority file? Do they have a subject heading? And you can see they start to fade away, kind of representing how they might be hard to find or missing. So that's a it's a playful way to find out what it's like today. And then I built the start of a Chrome extension, which is on my laptop over there, where you can add people to the homepage of the Library of Congress with your own playful exhibit of someone. And then I'm interested in like collaborating and like working on the data set with other people. So that's where I'm at now.
Now I know, can you tell us a little bit about the class? Because this class was a collaboration with the Library of Congress. And what feedback did you get from them? And how did that process work?
Yeah, so some of us at ITP were in a class taught by Jared Thorpe called Artists in the Archive. And he was an innovator in residence at the Library of Congress for the last year. So through Jared, like this group of students got to build projects on top of the collections, and the help and feedback I got was really great. So like through that class, I got to talk with Meg Metcalf, who is the recommending officer at the library for I believe like gender and sexuality. So it was great to get her take on like how our items in the library like encoded with data and how are they findable from her perspective. And we even got to go on a field trip to the library, which was super fun. So we got to see a lot of things in person.
The Library of Congress is an amazing place.
Yeah.
If you can visit, you should visit.
Yeah.
Anybody can just go in there, you get a library card, you can check out stuff. Nobody's there anymore. Compared to, it used to be that researchers would have to make their pilgrimage to the Library of Congress to find information, to do their research. But now, there's so much beauty and wonder there in the massive.
It's really cool, and you can still go down into the floor and see the old card catalog.
Yes.
So you can still experience what it would be like to find things that you can't find online. Yeah.
Cool, awesome, great job,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, oh, we've got VR projects. We can't really test VR projects.
No,
but
yeah.
you can give us the one-sentence version of what it is you made if you like.
Right, okay, so because I was born on tropical island, and this is actually based on the travel memory I have with my grandma. So basically in the VR scene, the user will be welcome in a wood house, and you will be greeted by my grandma. And then she'll ask you, do you want to have breakfast with me? And if you say yes, and then you will have to finish 2 tasks. So this is kind of VR game as well. The first task is you will feed the chicken. So when you feed the chicken will come in to eat it. This is the first task. And the second task will be you will help my grandma to pick up the veggies in order to have the breakfast. So this will be a very interactive VR game. It's not just sitting there, you have to do it around.
Cool, great job. Cool, it sounds like fun. I hope you get to try it later.
Thank you, yeah, sure.
Yiyao, can we talk to you about your project? Okay, so tell us your name and a little bit about your project. There's a lot of stuff to look at here, so maybe we can just have you explain it for a little bit, and then we can kind of have the camera walk around and look at the various pieces.
Okay. So
Speak loud and into that microphone.
Hello, so my name is Yiyao, and this is my thesis project called Life in a Nutshell. There is 2 parts. The first part is a series of sculptures. They have 13, from birth to death as a cycle. And the second part is an interactive installation. People can interact with it, and they need to make a pose exactly like what the sculpture shows, and then they will become part of the character to experience different stages of life.
Did you, throughout the process of making this, were there new discoveries that you found about how the sort of history of these characters and what they mean and and you have a new sort of sense of them as you use them in daily life?
Yeah, so I think by doing this project, I was also very inspired by this project I made. So they are actually derived from the ancient Chinese character called oracle bone script. The oracle bone script was considered as the first fully functional and mature Chinese written language. So from a lot of the discoveries and findings from scholars, we found that since they were pictograms, and based on the findings and also my design, I put human character in each of these Chinese written character. Some of them has 1 human being, but some of them have 2 human beings. So as you can see here, so for example, this character, which means birth, it means that the first sprout break out from the ground, and that means birth. And for the other character, like home, it means that 2 people, they hug each other under this small roof, and then it means home. And for example, sky, you can see that from Asian people's eye, actually sky is very small. Sky just a little squares. So that's all our imagination about the world, about sky. And also the part and happiness. Happiness is so simple. It's just like playing and dancing to music like an instrument. It means happiness. And here is love. It means 2 people holding hands with each other, and love forms. And here are hometown. hometown means two people having meal with each other, and they will chat and they will drink and then share their memories about their hometown, their native place. And here are death. Yeah, death is like one people gone, one people is gone, and the other people is still alive. And the people who still alive grieves for the people who already gone. So it means death in Chinese character. So.
The documentation footage of your installation is really remarkable and beautiful.
Thank you.
The effect of the characters and the particles going back and forth between the human form and the character form is really nice.
Thank you. Do you want me to study up?
Oh, should we try that?
Yeah, let's study up.
Okay, why not? All right, we're going to try to interact with this project now. We'll put down this microphone. This is like a very a rare sight at ITP. It was a Windows computer that just opened up. You never see that here. So this is telling me the pose to me? Are there all together? And so if people want to see, see all of the different stages, you have the video documentation online somewhere?
Yeah.
Can you tell us where it is? People can find it?
You can go to this link here. Yeah, here.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful work. It's really magical to have it suddenly recognize your pose and for the characters.
Thank you.
Okay. How you doing there? You need a break? No? Okay. Let's go. How's it going over here, Lydia? You want to talk about your project? Or do you need a minute? Okay.
I think my computer just froze.
Oh, yeah, that's the way it works. I have that effect on computers. I can walk. I can also now wave and unfreeze it. Did I work?
Didn't seem to.
No.
I think I need to. But actually, it's kind of hard to show on here because it's VR, so I can just talk
Oh, this
about
is a VR project. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us your name and a short explanation of your project.
Great. Well, my name is Lydia Jessup. Thank you for visiting the Museum of Technology History today. We have a really exciting exhibit. It's a rare artifact from the early 21st century. As you all know, waiting was eliminated in 2027 for our society's elites thanks to automation and advances in AI. But what a lot of people don't know is that these underground waiting experiences started to be created, and people made these virtual waiting speakeasies. So in this VR exhibit, you start in our virtual museum, and then you can go down a hallway into one of these historic waiting rooms.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And has anybody's reaction to this really surprised you, or have you gotten any interesting feedback yesterday? Or?
Yeah, people think it's a really interesting, it's like a really, I think it's been a good conversation starter, thinking about like the future of all these technologies, so it's been great in that sense.
All right, great job. All right, unfreeze. Unfreeze.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. I don't know what's in here, but it looks cool. Okay, let's talk about CRISPR detective, okay? Do you guys gather together? Yeah. Are you, tell us your names. You're gonna have to speak up so that this microphone is what people are hearing right now. This is just extra audio. Okay. So speak up and tell us your names and a little about your project.
My name is Veronica.
I'm Adrian, Bautista.
I'm Jingyi, and we still have 2 other group members, which is Karen, Neel, and Antonio.
Yeah. Are you ready to start, I guess?
Yeah, sure. There's no process here. We just
keep it happen. Well, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be joining the CRISPR detective unit today. Okay. Your goal is to find members of the metastasis mafia. These are the genes that cause cancer cells to metastasize and spread throughout the body. So obviously we want to be able to identify those. And we'll give you just a couple seconds to re-review the evidence board to get an overview about DNA and genes, a little refresher. But I guess, well...
Do people online somehow participate in this? The chat can like solve the mystery?
Well, so what we're doing is, well, we're going to need to play a game. So we do need 2 players. Is there anybody who could play, Dan, would you like to play?
Sure, I'll play.
Veronica, would you like to be his competitor? We have a little friendly competition here. So, welcome to your first mission. This is the pre-CRISPR era, where genetic research was a little bit cumbersome, not always accurate, not always the most efficient. So to illustrate that point, what you're going to be doing here is using your sense of touch. You're going to be trying to find the bad genes, the ones that cause metastasis. They have an etching. Okay. So the genetic civilians, the ones that had no effect on metastasis, are going to be smooth. So with your hand in the jar, when you find metastasis mafia gene member, you'll pull it out, and you'll go back in for more, and you have 30 seconds to find as many as you can.
Yeah, I'm going to use my left hand here, which is puts me at a disadvantage.
Are both of you ready?
Okay, ready?
Set, go. As you can see, it's a little cumbersome, it's a little frustrating, and that's what editing DNA was like pre-CRISPR. It wasn't always the best, it wasn't most accurate. A few more seconds. I swear they're in there. I promise they're in there.
I'm failing so badly. Wait, no.
Ready? A few more seconds. And, oh wait. Oh no. Done. All right.
It was a little bit scratchy. I like it. Look, there's a little scratch. Can you see those etches?
But what you can do now is enter the modern era where people like our researcher, Dr. Sanjana, have been using CRISPR in their genetic research. Monica,
Alright, so detectives will come back now, and now you have the help of CRISPR technology, and your job will be much easier and much faster. So here we go.
Scientists and genetic police get to work with a new tool called CRISPR. CRISPR can help scientists and genetic detectives like you identify and edit DNA sequences faster and cheaper than ever before. CRISPR makes it possible to mutate thousands of genes at once and evaluate if they become genetic civilians or members of the metastasis mafia. CRISPR has opened the door to new research opportunities for scientists and genetic detectives and helped save our genetic police departments a lot of time, effort, and money. We're still searching for members of the metastasis mafia, and we'll try to find as many as you can with this CRISPR detective machine. Scan each fingerprint to mutate with CRISPR, and the machine will tell you if you've identified a mafia member or an innocent genetic civilian.
And you will still have 30 seconds
Okay.
to try to find as much mafia as you can.
So we're trying to find these bad guys.
But if one, and so, okay. And what if I find one, what do I do with it?
You put it in.
I put it in my breast. Okay.
It will light up depending on which side you
I got it.
identify.
All right, cool. You guys ready?
Yeah.
One-handed, it's very unfair. Way behind. definitely not winning. Oh, I love the bell sound. You hear the bell sound?
Yeah, so basically the challenge here was to try to explain the research from Dr. Sanjana, which is part of research in NYU. So the biggest goal was to try to simplify how CRISPR was used, how CRISPR is used now, and how the technology was before, to make the user feel like frustrated, like it was like really slow and not that accurate. And with this one, it's like it's faster and it's like more like playful.
What's the best anyone's done with this?
Someone found three.
Wow.
Three is the maximum amount.
Yeah.
We wanted to make it. We started with just one. We realized it was
too
way
hard.
too frustrated.
Yeah.
But still, you saw like today we couldn't find any.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the goal. The goal is to make it slow and really frustrating. So.
Awesome. Great job, guys. It's really amazing. Fully fleshed out project and installation.
Thank you.
Okay. See Chelsea, so we can take a quick look at. Oh, there you are.
Hey.
Can you tell us about your project?
Yeah,
All right,
sure,
tell us your
sure.
name and a little bit about your project.
Hi everyone, my name is Chen. This is my project. I call it Now You're in the Conversation. The reason why I made it is because I'm so tired about people taking photos in museums and exhibitions. Sometimes they really don't care about the artwork itself. They only want to post on Instagram. So I made a very Instagrammable piece, and when you're trying to take a photo of it, it stops. So maybe you can try it.
Mitra, do you want to come use your phone and pretend you're taking a picture? Do you want to come use your phone and pretend you're taking a picture of this?
Give me a second. Typical ITP.
Yeah, that was
Stops. And when you put your phone down,
And what technology are you using to detect the phone?
I used something called Open Pose. It's a library can detect human hand skeleton and body skeleton.
Right, so it's actually not looking for the phone.
Yeah, no.
In fact, it would do the same thing with me just doing this.
Yes, and not that way, but
Right.
something like more like it. Yeah. So it's your hand gesture, because we all use different phones and phone cases, but for when we are taking photos, the hand gesture are very similar. So that's why I made it with the hand skeleton thing. Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So many projects. All right. All right. Hello. Hi. How are you? Can you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Yeah, my name is Jeremy Chen. And this project is called Pulao, Qiuniu, and Dixing. Those three creatures are from Chinese mythical stories. All of them have special ability to like play the great music or listen to everything happening in the world. So actually it's kind of live performance. But right now it's an exhibition that I will explain step by step. So back to this interface. All those interfaces are web-based, so everyone who has internet can access to those two pages. It's like playing page, and this one is a submitting page. That the audience can enter this page and submit any waveform. Let me get maybe. And submit. And will automatically show here in real time, and just get some random. And this is the controller of the program, and it's like those sound envelopes that the audience submit. And because those are envelopes, when they combine, they become the quality of a sound, just like this. Beyond the screen, we also have some other gestures like this.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, let's keep moving this way. Let's go back to this one. Hey James, you want to tell us about your spaceships? I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes,
Wait, so tell us your name and a little bit about your project.
Hi, I'm James Hoskin. This is 100 Days of Spaceships. It was all for a class called 100 Days of Making. Can I talk to you or the camera?
Whatever you prefer, but talk to the camera, I would say.
The class was 100 Days of Making, which was about iterating on a theme. So for 100 days, each day you have to make something new. And part of the class is about trying to break free from the chains of perfectionism. It doesn't matter if it's good or not, you just have to post it. And another part of the class was posting it publicly. So this was all on Instagram, and each of these posters represents 2 days of spaceship making. The first day was modeling a spaceship, and then the second was animating the spaceship. And this is basically the result.
And this is all 100, or this is selection?
No, this is all 100. Well, 50, but because they're animated and modeled.
I see. Okay.
So I also wrote a little description for each ship, and that's what's that's what's logged here with all these printouts. And then on this side is the final animations for each, as well as the process.
And did you use the same tool set for every single one, or you
I did.
explored different
Something that I wanted to do was learn this tool. It's called Blender. I used the open source 3D modeling software called Blender. I wanted to get to know it a little bit better, so I used that for all 100 days.
Great job. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Skip the colorful wall because I can't deal with YouTube commentary. But we'll come over here. Oh, let's look at this.
Hi.
Can you tell us your name and about your project?
Yeah, so my name is Tiani, and this is a project for a team of 3. Helen and Chen, they're also in this project. And we're making a music box for our children, specifically aged from 4 to 6. And we just want to deliver a very playful experience to encourage them to be more interested with music making and also maybe become DJ or composer when they're young.
Yeah.
So we just want to
Can you demonstrate it for us?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. So this is the box, and then it's actually inspired by traditional music box. And then if you turn it faster, the light will change faster, and if you turn it slow,
You want to switch places and get the other side too?
and then also there's the card is indicating for different instrument by inserting different card. We're just hacking this box to make it into different instruments. And then this is the key for turning it off. So if it's turned off, like nothing happens.
Ah,
and that's
okay.
ownership of this box.
Was that there yesterday when I was looking at this? I
Yes.
didn't notice it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yesterday actually, one of the children break the key
okay,
part,
maybe that's
so we're
why.
just hiding that.
Yeah. Awesome. Great job. It's so simple and elegant, and just the interaction is so satisfying. Remember turning that? It's a really great job. And how many of these could you possibly imagine making?
Theoretically, it can be like a lot, but right now we're using switches inside.
Right.
So right now there's only 3 combinations, and we have to make it symmetrical because children especially they don't have an order of where to put them. So we're just making it more stable for having 2 different a symmetrical interaction. But ideally we want to make more options, and even for children, maybe one day they can just write their own card and then just enjoy it.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Hi, can you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Yeah, hi, I'm Sijuwade, and this project is called
You have to speak up probably a little bit. Yeah.
Blum algae, and it's a lamp that is turning the movement of the algae under the microscope into the movement of the light. So yeah, here's a webcam-based microscope, and if I turn it in different ways, sometimes they're small and easy to. So you can see that the light is actually changing, like that. Yeah, so I wish it could be put into maybe bedroom or some place that so that people can have a living light. They really have a life behind it. Yeah.
Awesome. Great job. Sorry, we can't do the VR project. So hello. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about this project?
Yeah, sure. My name is Yu, and my project is called Cats. It is my experiment on generate a film completely using AI, and this is the very, very first step of doing that. So what you're seeing now is my first experiment on using neural network to combine human portraits with different things that are ubiquitous in our lives. So what you see at the top includes human portrait mixed with cats, Bitmojis, donuts, power outlets, and ripped jeans. And the video is showing how we could do animations for cat and human portrait mixtures by manipulating the latent vector in the neural network.
So we're seeing a rendered version of it, or is this running in real time?
This is a rendered
yeah.
version.
And how long did it? What's the amount of time per frame in terms of the render process?
It's 30 frames per second, and it is because my laptop is not powerful enough, so that's pre-rendered and generated.
Oh no, I just meant how long did it take you to render this?
Oh, this one.
Did you have to run it for days or just an hour?
I think it's about 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
There's some very cute and also incredibly creepy cats in there.
Yeah, some people will say it's hypnotizing to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's check out the mirror. This will be exciting because you're going to get a peek behind the scenes. Adi, there's no way for you to avoid being on the camera now. Okay. All right, tell us your name and a little bit about your project.
Hi, I'm Brent. I made an AI mirror that uses face recognition to only work as a mirror for me, which is very vain in retrospect. I'm not sure how well it'll show up on camera, but you can try looking in there. It's best if somebody just go up to it, yeah. All right. Yeah, see, it just kind of glitches out when you're in there. And if I go up to it and stand very still, yeah, it'll turn back into a mirror. There we go.
All right, let's come and check out these plants, and then I have to decide what to do. Have you been in the YouTube comments? Yeah. It's not a place anybody wants to be.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Your stream definitely messed with my performance last.
All right, tell us your names and about your project.
Sure, I'm Gabriella.
Hi.
This is Arnav.
Well, why don't you stand next to each other? That'll make it work better.
Just bring back
Okay,
the
here.
This is Pleasure Principle, and it aligns the body's built-in reward system with creativity. And essentially, it logs the amount of time you use this drawing app, which we made the P5, to charge this pleasure device, as I will call it, for future use. And right now we're featuring it in live mode, so we'll actually react when we draw. Oh my gosh, I'm bad at right-handed drawing, I'm a lefty. And it was made for quantified humanists with Joey. It was an amazing class.
Oh, cool.
So it's a behavioral intervention to create an internalized incentive toward creativity.
Awesome.
That's what we're going with.
What's the camera for?
That's just it's for hard documentation.
Okay.
Yeah. I just
like-
want people to engage in creativity in any way they can. I think art is necessary for humanity, and I think as much as pleasure is. I mean, we wouldn't be here without it, you know. So.
Great job.
Thank you.
you.
Do you dare?
No, I don't. Here, you can tell us about your project. I'll stand in front of it.
So I'll turn the sound down too. So yeah, this is just a large-scale interactive interface, I suppose. Reacts to touch, and there's light animations and different sounds depending on what mode it's in. So it's a MIDI piano in one mode. And right now it's in like a other silly noise mode. But yeah, just you know, getting people to come up and play around.
Awesome. Very colorful and delightful.
Thank you.
I didn't turn bright red. I just slightly red. All right, let's. We're gonna moving along here. All right, we're like we've hit like quite a bit of this show. How's your shoulder? How's everything going? You sure? You want to switch? No. Let's try checking out some of these projects. Tell us about your project. This is we're in a lab.
Okay, yeah. So this is we call it.
Sorry, say your name first.
Oh, okay. I'm Chen, and this is Louise. And this is a project. We did this. We call it White Mountain Black Water. This is simply you drop down the water and make a song. It sounds better in the headphone though, but
okay.
Yeah.
But I'll quickly show you how to play with this.
So the math and glad are actually different songs. So
you can keep shooting that.
Yeah. So if you jump from the left side, it's the sound of Chen. If you jump from the right side, it's sound of the harp. And yeah, it actually sounds different. This is the most magical thing ever. What is this substance that you're? That's water. Water.
Just ink and
water. Ink and water.
But the surface, like this is like like an acrylic sheet, and then we painted it with like water resistant spray. So that's why the water is behaving like that.
And how do you do the sensing?
That's the camera.
The camera.
Yeah.
Right. So this is something that I talk about a lot, which is that you can create a computer vision project where you can control the environment and have an incredibly high contrast image in a fixed space you can do so much with. And this is like the perfect scenario for that. But it's a testament to the sort of beauty of this project that it never occurred to me to even look to see that the camera was there.
Yeah, because the light is supposed to
There's so light and it's just so magical. Helm? Yeah, wow.
Thank you.
Really great stuff. Great, beautiful job.
Thank you.
Can you do it one more time? Can you do it again?
First we did it randomly, but my partner said it's not good. It's just being randomly. So we did like you see the top is like a mountain, and the bottom is like water, and those like tabs in the middle they are actually Chinese symbols of mountain and water.
And it never goes off the edge.
No.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Great job.
Thank you.
I didn't see that project yesterday. That was amazing. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Okay. Will you tell us about your project? Tell us your name and about your project.
My name, I'm Sijuwade from Japan. I'm ITP first year.
And my daughter actually made a slide, and I made a slide musical instrument. Yeah.
Yeah, can you demonstrate it to us?
Yeah. We can play together.
You made all this slide. Yeah, my kids love to make slides.
Yeah. Really love
I'm always like, no, not the slime again. I like the way you put the lights under it too. It gives it a very kind of glowing light quality to it.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Have you had kids at the show come and play with it?
Yeah, I loved it. And you can also pass a slide by having a spin. Yeah, it's for kids. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, let's try. I wish we had the baby playing with your project right now. It was so great. I don't mean to interrupt. Can I ask you about your project? So tell us your name and about what you made. Okay. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I'll be back.
I'm sorry.
Okay, my name is Jackie Liu, and I created a project called ENIAC Girls Program and Pretend. So what it is a speculative playset for girls to get them interested in programming, but the playset also references the history of inequality surrounding women in computing. Yeah, so here it is, and the toy is meant to like evoke the motions of being a programmer and the first electronic computer, the ENIAC. So you can move around, like you can turn knobs and like rearrange connections, just like the ENIAC girls of the 1940s did.
Story about a forest. Yesterday there was a young person here who just was like, it seemed to me like they were here for 45 minutes just forever, just couldn't stop playing with it, moving it in and out.
Learned a lot through that as a user testing session with a real child. Yeah, thank you.
Great job. All right. Oh look, there's a giant dinosaur. Can we see the dinosaur project? Can the dinosaur explain the dinosaur project? Right, why don't you tell us your... I'm sorry, am I interrupting here? No, okay. I am interrupting. So first say your name, and then introduce your dinosaur project.
I'm Emily. I'm Maya Pruitt. This is D-Dino.
Dead Dino.
Dylan the Dino.
Dylan the Dino.
The Dino. And we have another Mingna. Yes. So for this piece, we partnered with Dr. Michael Rampino, who's a geologist and also a researcher at NYU. And he specifically studies mass extinction, so we made an AR app where people are invited to become a geologist by scanning the rock layers for evidence of mass extinction and more information about Earth's history. And Maya will explain the game.
So the way it works is this is your tool, and if you find an object, you can scan it and an AR component will appear. So this one's one of our favorites. We call him Ancestor Shrew because he is the ancestor of all placental mammals. So we really wanted to kind of emphasize this idea of field work and the sort of sense of discovery that you have as a scientist. For our app, you can actually read a little bit more about it. Our ideal setting is definitely like a museum or something, so if someone wanted to read a little bit more, they could. You can exit out back into this search mode and then look for other things. Some are animations.
Oh, that one?
Oh, scientists develop. Some are 3D models, which are like, these are like fungal spores. Learn a little bit more. And then we have some sound components too. So like, for example, our favorite dinosaur, which when you tap on it actually roars. So yeah, that's mass extinction. Not everything on the wall will trigger an AR component because science is hard and you have to search for the answers to your questions.
What was the collaboration process like with the scientists you work with, and have you gotten any feedback, or has the scientists come in to see it here at the show?
We've invited him and we hope he comes today. It was really cool. We just got to sort of talk to him about his work. He was definitely like hands-on enough to give us all the information, but also was just like, I give you sort of ownership over what you'd like to do, like how you want to communicate it. So
it's a really fun way of using AR. That really, the scale of what you have built is really makes it work, I think. Because you imagine if you didn't have this sort of wall-size thing, you could really imagine building this out at even like larger scale in a museum context.
Yeah.
Great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello. What's that?
I got mine.
Yes, okay. Oh, wow, okay.
I'm a big fan.
Yes, okay, yes. We should all be big fans. This over here. I don't know if we can do it with this augmented reality sound. Yes, yes. Okay. So, Guillermo, can you tell us about your project? Tell us your name and tell us about your project.
Well, my name is Hailu. My project is sound exploration in AR. So my idea was to see what happens if I set sound source elements in the space, and we can move around with a tablet and augment both the virtual aspect and the sound aspect. So that's basically what it is. So maybe you can move around the tablet and put the headphones in the mic. Sure. Do you want to try?
Hold this.
If you look at the store over there, there should be,
oh yeah. Super fun, the process of discovery. The music is really nice. It's very soothing and lovely to listen to. Thank you so much. Bye. All right. Hello. Oh, some more sound. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Of course. My name is Ada. This project is called Sonic Cubes. This is a set of instruments I made for a final performance I did for this class, Sound in Space, using 17 speaker setup. You could have fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can you go and show us what is coming out from the speakers, yeah? Because I'll put the mic here. a challenge, right? My instinct is to put my hands up at the top. Yeah, it's just, I think this would also work with like a little club, maybe because I'm tall. But for kids, this would be, Good job. Okay. Oh, we've been going for about an hour. How you doing? All right, let's go talk to Itai about his project. Quick, one couple sentence version of what it is.
Hello.
Say your name too.
Okay, so my name is Itai, Neel, and this is my thesis project, Let's Read a Story. Basically, it's a storytelling application for parents and kids. Let's see how it works. So you begin by telling the machine what kind of story you want today. So let's read a story about a forest. Then, a lion and a man chance to travel in company through the forest. And there's the lion, and here's the forest. What happened next? Daniel?
Oh, I have to say something. The man asked the lion if he would like something to eat.
So the man asked the lion, let's see, how's the story going to progress?
I wonder if the lion is going to...
You're a bird, he said, and I'm going to eat you. The bird becomes a sandwich in the end. That's it.
How does it arrive at the end? What happens at the end after you do this a few times?
So in the end, this is a story with 8 sentences. So in the end, we will get a moral. If we're patient enough, there's going to be a moral. And based on the Aesop Fables data set, there's a moral in the end.
And people can go, if they want to find out more, they can go to letsreadastory.xyz, yes?
Yes.
So I know you have a whole blog post, and everything. Great. Wonderful.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Let's come over here. Jesse, can we check out your project?
Yeah, sure.
Can you just tell us your name and a little bit about your project?
Yeah, my name is Jesse Simpson, and I made a patchable MIDI controller that uses fiber optic cables to patch between light sources and light sensors for triggering MIDI values and MIDI notes in my computer software. So unfortunately, we're hooked up with headphones right now, so you can't hear it. But this is essentially how it works, where we have a step sequencer down here on the bottom, and as these different playheads cross over these buttons that are activated, they send pulses of light through these cables and then activate different sensors underneath this sensor grid here in the upper middle. Well, thank you.
You want to say hello?
Hello.
Do you want to talk? Here, why don't we give Adi a little break for a minute, and you can say hello to the ITP show in Spanish.
Bienvenidos. Estamos aquí en ITP y vamos a ver los proyectos que tienen. Hay bastantes personas aquí que hablan español. Me he topado con gente de Chile, me he topado con gente de Colombia y los proyectos están sumamente locos y sumamente divertidos.
Tell us about who you are and what you do at ITP.
Bueno, yo soy programador, técnicamente lo llaman Educational Technologist, pero realmente soy desarrollador web. I'm a web developer for ITP, and it's a great place to be. Maybe soon I'll also become a student. Bueno, eso es lo que tengo por ahora. So, ¿qué proyectos han visto? Which projects have you seen already?
We haven't seen over here. Why don't we do?
This is a cool one. He's actually from Colombia.
Yeah, perfect.
Él es colombiano. So basically,
5 segments of fame. Yes, we're doing a little segment with guest host Lennon. We can also give me in Spanish language.
Hi Nicolás, hola, ¿cómo estás? Háblanos de tu proyecto. Describe the project for us.
Okay, so it's about my best friends, dice, and it's about testing dice, rolling them continuously to see if they are perfect in terms of being equal, having like a equal result between the 6 numbers.
So basically, you're trying to prove that each number will come a sixth of the times as you roll it, right?
Well, I'm not trying to prove anything, but just to be surprised about how each die is different from another, in which ways. Kind of to make a portrait of the dice and reveal its nature, kind of.
All right, so let's take
the nature of dice in that words. So it's now you get 2. Oh, so the dice is also dancing to reggaeton music. Proven to be a good random generation system now. Easy to get the dice.
It's good.
Oh, there you go. So then it picks the results, counts the results, and draw it to a grid. So basically that's a collection of thousands of results, like results has been collected.
So actually, I think the 4 is coming out.
Yes, even dice cheat sometimes. We all have some bias. So dice are made by humans, so they're not perfect. They can be perfect.
But it's very close. This has been running for, I guess, for each number, like 3,000 times. Each one has come out. So how long has it been running for?
Well, kind of for 24 hours, kind of, a little bit less, since yesterday that the show started.
That's a lot of reggaeton dancing.
Yes. That's maybe a Latin American dice. Who knows? So party dice, very happy.
Do you want us to explain this in Spanish now?
Do a quick version in Spanish.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, explícanos tu proyecto en español ahora.
Bueno, se trata de mis mejores amigos, los dados. Bueno, es una máquina automática que se me olvidó el español.
Que
cuenta los resultados de los dados, usando reggaetón como manera de hacer saltar el dado. Entonces el dado tiene una fiesta larga y se van contando los resultados para revelar como la naturaleza del dado, de cuántas veces, si tiene algún número favorito.
Y es la cámara quien mira los resultados del dado y el dado está bailando encima de una...
Parlante. La marca del parlante es Voz y el modelo se llama Caos. Entonces genera caos, desorden, el dado salta y la cámara es un sistema de reconocimiento de imágenes usando processing, plataforma libre de software.
Y luego tienes aquí el resultado de todos los resultados del dado.
Sí.
He estado bailando por todo un día.
Claro, una fiesta larga, un carnaval dadaístico.
That's awesome.
All right, thank you guys.
So what's the next?
Check out Jim's project.
Yeah.
Thank you for
VR, right?
What? Yeah, but you can show it to us without VR. Jim, can you tell us about your project? Tell us your name and tell us about your project.
Okay. So hi, my name is Jim Schmitz, and this is my project. It's my thesis project at ITP. And my thesis project is my thesis statement, which I practiced a million times, is my thesis about applying a style transfer to 360 imagery. So a style transfer is a computational technique where you can reimagine a photograph in the style of a painting. And using images from Google Street View, I'm able to create art that forms a connection that inspires the viewer to connect with the actual locations.
Can you show it, demonstrate us?
Yeah, we can do that over here. So there is a little VR headset. So using WebVR, we've got you can look at this, and it's immersive, so you can look around, and everything looks. The style is applied evenly.
Is this is pre-processed?
Yeah, it's pre-rendered, so it takes about 5 minutes to do each one. And each of these images have about 2.5K resolution. I need to use
more GPUs and want to get higher. So I'll do that after the semester is over. But the neat thing about this is that the style is even and continuous, and there are no seams, which is different from the way the other style transfers end up when they're applied to 360 imagery.
And you had to develop a sort of custom spherical geometry.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a new data structure.
If you want to learn more about how you did that, is there documentation of that on
There will be. Yeah, I'm going to write a research paper explaining how it works. But the data structure is called a tensor sphere, which is a spherical data structure that supports indexing using spherical coordinates, which is like latitude and longitude. And it's because of that I was able to do this.
Awesome. So these images are originally from Google Maps?
Yeah, from Google Street View.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So using their API, I was able to collect some pictures, and then I threw that into my algorithm. This particular one we're looking at here is a watercolor painting that I made as part of my thesis research.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is harder than you think. You did this for an hour.
This is picking up your audio.
This I'm recording as extra audio because later if we edit anything out, this is what's being broadcast live.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. All right. The audio seems pretty reasonable. Usually the entire chat is just everyone saying they can't hear it. So we're going to this.
Today's Itai's birthday, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday.
Whose birthday?
Itai.
Oh, I didn't know it was Itai's birthday.
Yeah, today's his birthday, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday.
Well, I'll have to go back and wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah. He would like that.
Okay.
Over on the internet.
All right. You want to tell us about your zine?
Tell us about your zine.
Tell us your name.
Oh, I'm Sijuwade.
I'm Anna. This is a small zine that we made about an introduction to surveillance technologies. It's basically for the general audience, so anyone can understand it. Basically going through something as simple as like a Google search. So what happens in the internet ecosystem when you type something in Google, and how basically the internet works, and then also the repercussions of it, like how you can be tracked, what cookies are, the pros and cons. Not the edible cookies. And basically just being more aware about your privacy on the internet and how to kind of combat that, be more secure on the internet, how advertisers target you, and yeah, it's very hard to explain topics like this, and we did this in like 43 pages, but yeah, so you can also find us online. Yeah, protect your privacy.
There's a digital copy and a printable copy. So you can print your own and then just fold it in half and you have your zine.
Sorry, I was moderating the chat. Should we enter this room? How you doing, Lennon? You want to do a little few more?
Yeah, if you guys want. I'm okay with it. This is fun.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Here we are with guest host Lennon.
Hi, how are you?
Can you talk about your project?
Yeah, so
Tell us
hi
your name
everyone.
first,
My name is San, first year student here at ITP. My project is called The Choice, and it is basically a scenario-based fictional narrative that walks the player or the reader through different scenarios of the main character's scene, where he has to make choices in the world or the age of surveillance. And so my message through this project is there's no right or wrong choice, but there are well-informed choices when it comes to surveillance and data collection. So let's educate ourselves. Thank you.
So is this online? Can somebody play this right now?
They can also use this QR code to play the game.
I need reading glasses to go and do this.
Scary looking.
Will you tell us your name and about this project?
Yes, my name is Sukanya. This is a collaboration with Nick, who is run away right now. So it's a project for Valence. It's essentially a router, and the router leaks liquid as data is leaking to third parties as you browse the internet. So I can show you a little demo if we go to BuzzFeed, for example. So these are the sort of domains it's hitting, which are not BuzzFeed. These are third parties. And as you can see, there's like this liquid that starts running. Let's refresh that. As you can see, there's this liquid that starts running. Try another page. But it's basically just to shed light on the fact that there's this whole industry going around on surveillance for profit and sort of tracking your behavior online and creating these profiles of you. But yeah.
Awesome. This is the valence room.
This is the valence room, yes.
Oh, you're going to do some guest hosting now? Okay, excellent. We have a new guest host now. Whoever holds the microphone has the guest host. Can you introduce yourself and say who you are? People might recognize Ari from previous ITP shows.
I'm Adi Valenciano. I'm a current research resident at ITP.
Excellent. Let's move along and check out this project. Okay, I'm good right now. I'm enjoying this job. Can you tell us your name and about?
Oh yes, sure.
It's like a muscle memory.
Do you want to tell us about your project?
Yes, sure. Our project called Facebook. So this is a project that me and Hike working together. So the concept is like Facebook is like social media that's very popular. But when you buy some product, you feel like you got a product. When you buy sneakers, you got a box, right? But Facebook, you just download it from App Store. It's like seems like so easy. But our concept is this: when service is free, you're not a customer, you are the product. Yeah. So we make the concept of Facebook. This is the Facebook that he's holding. So we imagine that Facebook have their own product and they think it's free, but actually it's not, because this is the product. And to raise awareness of that, we use Facebook. So you can open it. Maybe you can try to open
sure.
it.
I open it.
Yep. And read the instruction.
Create an account with your personal info. Accept user agreement. Provide activities data to us as much as you could to make sure that you will get a personalized advertisement back in return, and help us by sharing fake news and political messages that influence your online friends during elections. Okay, I accept those terms.
When you open the box, it will like secretly capture your face by face detection and upload you to web server. So if the web server is running, I think it should be here.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
It's ugly. Okay.
Yeah. So now you become a part of the product. So according to the research, like last year, Facebook made $24 per user, and total gonna be like $55 billion. So actually, we give the Tomo print receipt.
So you'll print a receipt.
Yeah, for you guys, but we run out of the receipt right now.
Okay.
So you can take a photos or enjoy.
Very cool. Was this for a certain class?
This is so I combine me and my partner Hike. We work on this. We combine two classes like Villains about social security, web server, and another class called critical objects. So we combine two classes about like security and critical together, and it's become this kind of project.
Ari is guest hosting right now.
Yeah, so this is my project.
It's called I Can't Breathe. It's a homage piece to Eric Garner's last words in the documentation of how he died. It's a data visualization piece of black deaths at the hand of police brutality. So essentially what happens is the screen goes through the days of a calendar year, and on a day where there were no documented deaths of black lives, the lungs breathe gently. And on a day where, as we're witnessing right now, somebody lost their life, a person of color lost their life to the hand of an officer, the calendar pauses, the lungs completely deflate and shrivel and crunch, and then very, very slowly relate before the calendar moves to the next day. And that continues over the course of, in this iteration, 1 month, accounting for 27 deaths. But I actually have a data set that accounts for every day between now moving backwards to January 2013, which is a cumulative of 1,742 deaths, 80% of which have had no judicial investigation and 73% which were unarmed. So my next iteration hopefully will account for like that entire data set, but it takes 2 hours just to witness January 2018 alone, so that's what I have today, and it uses programmable air, which is a circuit board that was invented by a second year at ITP named Amitabh, and so it's a Arduino compatible set of code pumps and motors that allow you to like code just like you would an LED or any other kind of electronic device when you want to push air into a system, when you want to vacuum air out of a system. So I'm really lucky to be able to use that device, because otherwise it would have been much more complex to program and design. Thanks. Hi.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us about your project?
Yeah, so this is a location tracking / surveillance project. The goal is to identify devices and see where they are on the floor. So what we're doing is we're basically scanning the NYU Wi-Fi and looking at different access points and seeing who's connected to which access point. And if we know who's connected to which access point, we kind of know in that radius where the devices are located. So as you can see here, that's the scan that's running, and then we populate different access point databases, and then you can see it on the screen. We have the floor map and the different access points located, and we start visualizing the MAC addresses of the devices we see on the floor. And right now we see 69 people on the floor, and it keeps changing over time, and we keep seeing more or less people.
How did you build this? What did you use to build it?
We used a monitor mode wireless adapter with huge antennas, and
finally just visualized it using a P5. We're just interested in learning more about like surveillance technology and privacy, and trying to reflect on that in the local network.
So, would you like to give you this rundown? I'll see you later.
We're the interrupters. We're always here interrupting. All right, cool. No. I don't want to do it again.
You can. I can explain it to you.
Yeah, explain it.
So what you're looking at.
Can you tell us your name too?
Sure. My name is Stefan Skripak. It's like James Bond. Anyway, so what you're looking at is a USB device that is connected, that reacts to your browser usage, your internet usage. So if you visit a bandwidth-heavy website, it will switch from what it's in now, which is cooling mode, which is actually cooling the inside, to heating. And when what's in here is actually an iceberg-shaped ice cube. And so when you switch to heating mode, it dramatically increases the speed at which the iceberg melts. And once enough of it has melted, it will actually trigger a simulated short circuit, which leads to all the monitors shutting off and prevents you from using the device any further. So the idea is that it's both representative of the
the way in which bandwidth-heavy web browsing is destructive, but also ultimately self-destructive. In the sense that, in this case, it means you can't use your computer anymore, and obviously in the larger scale, there's pretty severe consequences of climate change affecting activities. So. Wow. That's sort of the idea. So I can even show you how it works. So essentially, right now, like I said, it's in cooling mode because I'm on a static website. But if I were to visit, say, Netflix, this is my example that I've been showing a lot, and do something like show you planet Earth, you can actually see that it's switched to heating mode now. So it's actually both the color, but also the temperature has changed. So it's now actually heating up inside there because we're on this website that is very dangerous.
Why do you say that's bad for the environment?
Well, because so essentially the goal of this project, more than anything, is to just bring attention to this. So specifically, the issue is obviously there is a certain certain amount of energy, electricity that's used up to run your devices, but ultimately the large majority of the environmental costs for this sort of activity, especially streaming, is that there are these massive server farms that a lot of which are running on non-renewable energy. So it's the electricity to run the computers, it's the electricity to keep the whole spaces cool so that the computers will continue to function optimally. And Netflix is one of the, all the major tech companies are culprits, but Netflix is particularly bad when it comes to making use of renewable energy in that server maintenance. So it's sort of, yeah. Sorry.
I never thought about that actually. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like the goal really is to just bring attention to this environmental cost that is generally invisible to consumers because there's no. It's not usually like I said, it's not usually visible.
Great job, man.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you for being the host. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's.
The IMA area?
Yes. Let's check out Lauren's project, and then we'll move that.
Sure. My name is Lauren Race. I'm a designer, and I use participatory design with 5 low vision and blind designers and makers to convert all the material that's used to teach physical computing at ITP to tactile. So these are the original symbols from the PCOM site. I printed them out and I ran them through what's called a swell form machine, which reacts to carbon and black ink, causing it to puff up. And then this is the 11th iteration of each symbol using participatory design. So a lot of the elements are hollow because solid symbols are less discernible. We have ground has changed significantly because shapes are more discernible. So just getting them to be a quick read. And then after I took all these learnings, I applied them to all 50 of the PhysComp schematics. So we have all 50 of the schematics used to teach PhysComp that are tactile. And what happened after that was it became like a funnel. So if somebody needed a schematic that was tactile, they'd come to me. And I realized I was the only one making them. So what I did was I created a style guide with templates. So teachers and students and designers can come in and use the templates to make their own tactile schematic. So these are just some slides from the style guide that you can download on tactileschematics.com. This is how to set the braille and the text label. The font size minimum and maximum. This is how to put a slash in the upper right-hand corner for page orientation so you know how to hold the page. These are how to handle leader lines and labels. So just some examples of what you get when you check out the style guide. There's also a version of it as a Word doc with headings and image descriptions for low vision and blind designers too.
How do you imagine building this in the future?
The next phase of this research is I want to find out if I can use these to actually hook up the circuits themselves, and then I want to start materials for this kind of thing.
Wow. Very cool.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can go this way. I think we can go in that way.
Oh, yeah.
All right, right, let's try. So if you can hit that, we're going. Yeah. Then we hit that area and that there. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is super fun to play.
So let me get you started.
I currently have the high score.
Oh, you do?
Don't worry, just hold it up in one place and press play.
Can you tell us your name and explain the project while he's playing, and then we'll get to it?
Hi, my name is Cameron Partee. I'm a first year, and I made a game called Color Crazy. You said explain the game?
Yeah, sure.
So I made a augmented reality mobile application, and the goal of this is just to make something fun and augmented reality, and also to trick your mind because you're tapping on the color, not the word, of like different colors around you.
Everything's running way to the left.
Okay, let's try one more time. I'll get you started. There you go. So tap on all the blues, and it's the dark blue. Not yet, no. And feel free to walk around as well. There you go.
Oh. What's your high score?
46.
46? Oh, I think I only got like 19 or something. I'm trying to remember. It's definitely not 46. All right, we can that's good.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your project?
Okay, I'm first year. I'm Fenfen, and she's my partner.
Together.
Yeah.
You want together?
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Fenfen. She's my partner, Xiaohong. This is our application. It's about emotional coding application for overseas students. Sometimes when international studies, students study alone. If they're very lonely, they want a friend to share their secrets and their worries. And the cat is our daughter. Her name is Per. And when you feel very lonely, you can share your secrets and worries with her. I will do a very short demonstration. Sometimes you feel very tired about studying, you don't have to sleep. You just click the sleep. Of course, you can type the full sentence, and the kid will give you some suggestions. Like ITPers don't need sleep, like this one. And of course, this time I don't have time to exercise. I'm afraid I will get fat. You can just type fat as a keyword, and the kid also give you some suggestions. And also, of course, you can click the chat to check the different animations. Every time when you do interaction with a kitten, they will use the energy because she's a real kitten. This is the energy bar, and when you feed it her with her favorite food, the energy will come back and replenish again. It's just like the emotional building pad for the international students who are starting alone and feel very lonely. Yeah.
Can you tell us about the technology behind it?
We use the Swift to do the coding, and this animation just use the Adobe After Effects and export with the PNG sequence and combine with the coding. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, really? Hi.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your project?
Hello, my name is Jason Young. This is my thesis project. It's called Conjunctio, and it's like a light. It's a medium for creating volumetric light sculptures. Yeah, and it's basically it's using movement of stepper motors and the light of LEDs and the darkness produced by like a projected shadow on like object attached to the stepper motor to create like a lot of different volumes of like different volumetric patterns, so I can play with different colors. Essentially, like I really like abstract painting, and I kind of want to put it like into like a three-dimensional object using light. That was the whole concept.
Is it sort of like a mirror, like if you move in front of it, it changes?
No, there's no interactivity in that sense right now. It's mostly I just established the kind of the mechanism to create art with this box, but I will add like stuff like reaction to sound and other things like that maybe later. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't think Ryan is here.
You're here? and tell us about your project.
What's up? Oh, okay. Hello. Hi. Okay. My boyfriend's watching right now. Hi, Vince. Okay. So basically, what this is so as you may or may not know, World Pride is happening at the end of June, and it is for the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. Basically, that was like a huge. It was a little bar fight, or very famous. Thing that happened that basically launched the gay civil rights, LGBT civil rights movement in New York. So now, you may or may not know this, but the arch in Washington Square Park was built in 1892 for the commemoration of President Washington. And basically it was there to celebrate the founding fathers, right, on the centennial anniversary of its inauguration. So on the half centennial anniversary of the LGBT civil rights start, what better way than to commemorate the founding mothers and fathers of the movement? So this is my project. Basically what I'm trying to do is tell the story of what's happened in 50 years in New York, between the early Pride marches to the AIDS epidemic, into the 90s, the rise of Vogue culture, Paris is burning, all those kinds of things, and just really trying to tell that story.
Do you imagine doing projection mapping on that actually?
And yes, so if any NYU administrators are hearing me, I'm trying really hard, New York City World Pride, to do this on the actual arch, and and it's just something that I would really love to do. So. That's my project. Thank you.
It would be super beautiful to see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so, because there's so many people from all over the world that are coming to celebrate, and I want them to see those impactful people like Hector Extravaganza, Sylvia Rivera, Marsha P. Johnson, people that really made Pride what it is. So, okay, that's what I got.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As I keep nodding my head and I'm doing this in front of the worst camera.
This one. It's dark. Down there.
Okay, yes.
So this is like a breathing meditation experiences.
Could you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Ella. Nice to meet you guys. So I'm graduating this year, and this is my thesis project, which is called Breath Relief. And this is a breathing meditation for 1 to 2 person in a very dark and immersive studio. So the purpose of this is to allow people to practice their breathing meditation and how this breathing as a primary node is linked to nature and environment, that we always notice that our breathing is part of the nature, but we don't see it right away. So I want to use breathing as a part of way to allow people to understand their breathing meditation activity, and also understand that the small changes of breathing is affecting the environment in a very more impactful way.
And how does it work? Can you tell us about the sensors inside?
So right now this is using a wind sensor. It's tracking your breathing, and when you move too much, the animation will disappear. So it acts as a reminder for people to understand that you don't have to move too much, and keep your body posture very still, and breathe in and out. Breathe slow as much as you can. If you breathe in too fast and you move too fast, the animation will kind of for you to understand that you're doing too much. So it allows you to do meditation without the screen, and you do meditation with the nature. In a very nice studio that is very portable and easy to maintain.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I always forget people can hear me talking. Hello, everybody. Talking about how much energy we have. We're heading to the underground area right now. So this is exciting. I actually have no idea what's back here. I haven't. Oh no. So this is IMA over here, and then this isn't. So we can try to catch a few projects here.
Sure. So, should I look here? Yeah. Hi, my name is Rui, and this is our project, Virtual Reality. I'm working with my partner, Roger Shiyu, who has already flown to China. So this one is called Claw Machine. So like in the game arcade, those claw machine where you put coins in and claw grab the toys. So like in this game, this is an interactive animation. So like instead of being a human player that is outside the claw machine, you this time become like a toy inside the claw machine, and you have like different toys around you who can talk to you. Like they each have like a different opinion about like whether or not the claw is good or bad, or like going to the outside world is good or bad. So like you are, apart from that, you're the only toy among all the other toys that can like move your hands, and you have like a bunch of weapon balls in front of you that you can throw the ball as the claw to save your friends. But like you only have limited balls, so you need to choose like whether or not to save the balls to save yourself or like to save your friends.
Is it more like kids oriented or?
It's like some people would feel like it's pretty like pinky or like kids friendly, but actually the inspiration comes from we wanted to say about like the concentration camp in World War II. It's like the start of choice. There was a quote saying like when they come for the communists, I didn't do anything because I wasn't a communist. When they're coming for drills, I wasn't doing anything for the drills. And finally, when they came for me, I wasn't doing anything. No one left is speaking for me. So here I wanted to say like, if you only have limited balls, what are you gonna choose? Are you choosing to save the others, or like you're save it?
Great project.
Yeah, so it can be like fun. It just can be a playful, interactive animation. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
There's a lot of VR in this room. It's very hard for the VR projects to read on the live stream.
Could you introduce yourself and tell us about your project?
My name is Razik. I'm actually presenting two projects.
Oh, all right.
So the first one that I'm presenting is for a class that I took this semester called 100 Days of Making, in which you take an idea and work on it for 100 days straight. So I took a concept that I came up with about a year ago called broken fluidity. With that concept, I take cylinders and like create abstractions, objects, characters, words, you name it. And the second project that I'm presenting is a VR sculpture garden of the digital pieces that I made over the 100 days.
I just got a message, by the way, that the battery is low on this phone. So we'll see. This might just suddenly cut off.
Is there a way to see the VR piece?
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna keep it. We can't look at the VR stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you can kind of show us there.
Yeah, we can show it.
Always reconnect from mine.
So these are the pieces of art you created for the 100 days
Yeah,
inside of
the digital pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I would have to. I have an adapter. I do have one that does both. But let's see if we can get you to explain your project. Sorry, I can't. I'm just like I can't stop talking.
Sure. I'm Kat Vasova. This is a simulator that teaches you how to be a successful artist in the Instagram age. And it is very synthwave, retrowave inspired. It's an abstract representation of how I feel about being a young creative in this era. And you get to sign a consent form that gives us all of your rights, your physical presence, your mental presence. We copy it, we use it after you die, and you kind of go through it. That's it.
Is this a reel of what it looks like?
This is the video. This is actually what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move that around.
Was it made for a certain class?
It's made for Sarah Rockford's immersive experiences class, and you have to do actions to trigger the next scenes, but this is the first scene. This is the visual style.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, before you start. What?
Hi.
Hi, can you introduce
Hi,
yourself?
Mom. I'm Alicia. This is my project, High School Party Simulator for Homeschool Boys. It's a simulator for boys who are homeschooled and were never able to go to high school party. It's like a comedy 360 video. They're in it right now, but you can go to the link, tinyurl.com/AliciaVR to watch it at home.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's the experience?
You get initiated by your priest who tells you about the simulation. It ends with a magical moment, and I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
I would say like I started drawing maybe 3 years ago, and
When do you want me to switch to
So
the battery?
whatever. I'm good. I can.
Because VR.
We can't really show the VR project, so we're unfortunately sure. But you can give us an explanation of it.
Sure. Hello everyone. My name is Oved. My project is called Who is Right? It's a kind of interactive 360 VR film. I made 2 scenes of a story, each of them in 2 versions. I used the 360 camera for shoot the whole video, and for each version, one time I shoot the video close to the guys in the scene perspective, and one time close to the woman's perspective. And the user will have the opportunity to use 2 buttons to switch between the perspective and think about the details that make them different from each other. So they will just put on the headset, see the video, and can switch between them whenever they want to compare and think more about the detail. If I just move around the headset, you will see the character. And they specifically talk about kind of one topic, but with so many details because they have different feelings toward each other, and it makes the whole experience different. And I try to make a kind of design a kind of situation that is kind of impossible in the real life. In the real life, you will just listen to one person and you will have your own interpretation. But in this case, you can considering so many other perspectives too, and try to just think more about the challenging relationship that always have kind of maybe problem for people. So yeah, I hope that it can help people just better think about their feeling other people feel in the past.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
There is a magical pencil.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that's. Should we swing around to test
Yeah,
that?
definitely.
Come on, bicycle.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi,
she's my first time.
Introduce yourself and tell us about your project.
Hi, my name is Yiyao, and I'm a second-year student. I'm graduating, and this is my thesis project. It's called the Magical Pencil. So the idea is whenever you draw in this game, it becomes real. So you don't need to find an item when you need it. Whenever you need something, you just draw it. Yeah, you can use it to solve puzzles on your journey. That's it. They are playing it. So right now, the bad guys are chasing them. So he's trying to run away. I think that's.
Yes, get the hot air balloon.
So it uses.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think you better create a car or something. Yeah, because I know that will work. Get a car.
You need something, you draw it, and it appears in the game.
Yeah, it appears in the game, and it functions like the thing. So let's see, like you can try with that. Yeah, let's try.
Yeah.
So keep going. You're your truck, you can just run over him. So this is the third level is together. And
I want another balloon.
how do you? No, sorry, there's no balloon.
No balloon?
Actually, the balloon is there, but the function is broken.
Let's go. Sacrifice to the devil.
Is it here?
The heart health.
How to? Yeah, if you want help, you can eat things. If you like hamburgers, you hamburger. If you like pizza, or you can get a package. Yeah. And also water, you can have a bottle of water, a cup of water, or there's a secret, you can make it a ring. Do you want to make it a ring? What's that? No, it's really now. You don't need the water anymore.
Oh, nice.
That's how you play the game.
That's amazing.
Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
back this way. Maybe we can catch Antonio if you want to show this project.
Adi, send people.
Maybe it looks like, should we go in there now for a little bit?
Come on in, everyone. Go.
We're going to check out the performance for a minute. Sure. Okay. Should we try? We're going to attempt to plug in a. Well, let's not talk too loud over here. All right. The battery is running low, so we're going to attempt something. The audio is definitely going to cut out for a minute. So the way that this would work. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm live on the internet right now. Yes. Okay. So let's see. So this comes out, goes in. So the audio is now changed, and then oh no, this stays. We're just changing from here to here, and then this. Oh, sorry. So the question is this the microphone that's on? That would be the question. Do we still have this microphone on? Anyone in the chat could let us know. If I tap this microphone, does that register? Or we're fine anyway. Okay. Let's go see if we can catch Antonio. Okay, great. So tell us your name and tell us about what you made.
I'm Antonio. I'm a first year at ITP, and this is a haptic watch. So it has a 3D printed case with Velcro around it. Over it is a lid that is also 3D printed. There's a button up at top, and it tells time by way of vibrations. When I press it and you're touching it, you feel different vibrations. Say it's 5 o'clock, it's 5 something now, it's almost 5:30, so it'll vibrate like 5, really short like that. And then for 10s, it's almost like a heartbeat, dun, 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 dun. And the 1 vibrations are like a little longer, like dun. So if there's, I don't know if there's another person that can touch it, but I'll touch it and I'll press it and it'll go 5, 10, 20, 30. So it's 5:30 now.
Can I try feeling it?
Sure, here you go.
Okay.
I'll press it. 5, 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, wow.
And in here is a haptic motor with a JAMA board and a battery and some circuitry.
Have you spent time wearing this? And
some last night. The battery power is not that great. It just has a 100 milliamp hour battery in it. That has to be, this has to be taken apart and unplugged and recharged. There's another one charging back here, but there's another board here charging the battery, and that's the battery. Right there, the tiny thing's the battery. So that's the project.
Great job.
Thank you.
It really is it's really very distinct. Like it's certainly even not being experienced with a lot of haptic devices, I can really feel those pulses.
Yeah. I try to design it to have the different numbers mean something and figure out a way to add them up so that it doesn't take too long to tell the time.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work. Okay. Let's see here. Hello.
Hey.
Would you like to tell us your name and about your project?
I would love to. I'm Edith Barak, and this is Untouched, and it's an experiment in giving garments life without a wearer. So it was made in the intro to wearables. And do you want to touch it, or should I touch it?
Well, maybe you should touch it
Okay.
first.
All right. So if we touch it a little bit, it responds a little bit, right? So a little bit of attention is nice. Everybody likes a little bit of attention. But if you hang in there and she becomes a little bit upset and she wants you to leave her alone. So, yeah. So yeah, it was. We were experimenting with different kind of technologies, wearable technologies, and my thing was how to make fashion look still like fashion and not like too much technology, but actually has a lot of technology in it.
And have you tried wearing this, or has anybody tried wearing this?
Not yet. It's fresh out of the oven, but we are very interested to see how the wear would feel with the 8 vibrating motors on the skin.
Yeah.
So it could be a inside-outside kind of experience. Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see here. You can come check out these projects before we head down. Can you tell us your name and about your project?
Hi, my name is Anna and I'm first year, and then my project is apron video controller, because when I'm cooking, I'm usually watching a YouTube video, but I don't want to touch my iPad with my greasy hand, so if I'm wearing this apron, I don't need to touch it. I can control video with this apron. So right now, it's playing the video, and then pause, play whatever I want. And then if I miss some part, I can go back that part. And also, I can control the volume, like a zipper, like a louder, and then lighter, yeah, and then louder.
Have you tried this and actually cooked with wearing this yet? Yeah. What did you make?
I made like this one, carbonara, and then yeah, if I'm wearing this, usually I'm using like this without.
The design is great because I didn't even really notice at first the kind of the similarity. It's a play button, a pause button. It just is very abstract. Restart, so it has a nice quality to it that it doesn't look like a literal media player button. It feels like you've thought about it.
Yeah, I think about it.
Okay. All right. Will you tell us your name and about your project? I guess we'll come stand here so you can be in front of it.
Okay. So my name is Alexandra Lopez, and my project name is Widow. It's talking about the problematic of becoming a widow in today's society. All the implications that comes with it, just not losing a loved one, but also losing more than that, losing your social status, your financial status, and so on. So this piece talks about that.
And the dress here is displayed on this loom. Why? Can you talk about why you chose to display it this way as opposed to just a dress on its own?
Sure. So the dress represents the social costume that comes from the Victorian era, or widow's wigs. That the mourning woman has to wear black, heavy clothing. So this is my own twisted representation of it. And it lives in a loom because the looms represent the fabric of society. And also the looms represent my background as a textile designer. Thank you.
All right, let's come back this way. Stand together, please, and say your names, and then tell us about your project.
I'm Yuan. This is Fen Fen.
Yeah, I'm Fen Fen, yeah.
And this is our project called Conchinha. How does it work?
Yeah, it's especially for the woman who is suffering from the period pain. And it's like in front, you can actually touch it. It's warm up. You just touch it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's warm up.
Oh, this would be so comfy to wear.
It's like a physical therapy, and in the back, it's like a mental therapy. It's just to show others like a woman's statement, like a free and release. And the light effect is it's like a breathing effect. And then, yeah, it's also like a calm down for the.
Yeah, because this product's outline of the LED is breathing rhythm. It just shows that I'm very calm when I use this product. And in the middle part is a red string. It is strengthened from the bottom to the top. It shows that my lost energy during the period when it's gradually come back and gradually replenished when I use this product. So our product is targeted at the woman suffering from the period pain and I want to alleviate their pain, both the physical part and the mental part. Yeah.
Good job. I would love to. I feel like it would be good for back pain also.
Yes.
Oh,
We
that's
made
right.
that movable. Like you still have problem with the back.
Yes.
You can just move into the back.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe we'll make our way downstairs and then kind of like wrap up. I know you have to go. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go, there's a few more projects downstairs in the lobby that I'm going to take us to go see. I recall last time we did this, the Wi-Fi cut out while we were in the stairwell, so the stream might go down for a minute and hopefully when we get downstairs it'll pick itself back up. So rest assured we're coming back. I will say goodbye when it's time to say goodbye. Okay. So let's head down the stairs. We're in the stairwell. Very exciting. We're going to go down 4 flights. By the way, the new ITP, which will be in downtown Brooklyn, will also be on the 4th floor. This is my exercise for the day. I'm going to definitely come up the stairs. Is it still streaming, do you think?
I think so, yeah. It looks like
Just cut off, okay. Yeah, so it'll come back, hopefully. I think it, at least on the iOS app, it auto reconnects. We'll see if that happens. 2.5 hours is really the limit. Is it anybody?
No, I've got that. I didn't.
Okay. But this is good. It's a little more relaxed down here, and we can it's a good place to sort of finish up. So let me know when you think of it reconnected. Back? All right, I think we're back. We reconnected. We're in the lobby of the Tisch School of the Arts, and we're going to look at a few more projects for a little bit longer, and then I will say goodbye. But this full live stream will be left archived online, so you'll be able to watch it later if you want. Okay, let's head over to the futures market. Let's see. Can we do some? I don't mean to interrupt. Well, you look so official with like microphones and cameras. Can we do some shopping here?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you want to tell us your name and about the futures market first?
Sure. So my name is Alden Rivendale Jones, and Futures Market is a store that I made to sell a variety of different speculative products and services.
Oh, and you take Venmo?
I do take Venmo.
Okay, I'm going to buy something.
Okay, great.
All right, I don't know what to buy. There's the personality, and the chat can weigh in here. I'm a very frugal person, just be aware.
Sure, yeah.
Although I kind of want to buy the information scrambler. Let's see, so there's the personality reassignment, personality scrambler, bionetic scrying.
Yeah. So I can
refuse reading, and affect juice jar.
Yeah, I can explain these a little bit. So for the personality reassignment, I would generate a new personality for you. It's very simple, and you would get a little scroll like this with your new information on it. I'm actually not selling the personality scrambler today. I usually would sell it on a USB drive. It's just a software that I wrote that you could buy. With the bionetic scrying, I would use my scryer over here to reveal bits about your future. For my refuse reader, if you have anything you're planning on throwing away, I could use my trash analyzer over here to analyze that object, and then based on the results of that analysis, it would tell us deeper insights about you and your personality that you might not have realized. And then for the affect juice jar, I could take your current emotions and literally bottle them up for your later use. You would come in a little bottle like this, and the way you would apply the emotion later is just to open the bottle and dispense it upon your head. And today, with any affect juice jar that I'm selling, I'm also throwing in a free bionetic scribe.
Oh wow! Because I was going to say I was kind of interested in both the personality reassignment and the affect juice jar.
All right.
I was going to get both of those.
Okay.
And then I would get the bionetic scribe.
Yes.
I was going to say also anybody watching this should feel free to Venmo and buy something for me. But I'm going to purchase this myself.
All right.
But just to I'm going to open up the Venmo app here. This is very exciting. I've never bought anything at the ITP show before. I don't know why. This feels like so much fun. It's the most fun way to spend money.
How much have you made so far?
Like, including yesterday, about $80. Yeah. Although, don't tell that to the IRS, maybe. Yeah.
No, this is now documented.
Oh yeah, I know. Whoops.
The IRS, they're big fans of the coding train.
Yeah.
There you are. I found you. So I'm going for 6.
Yeah.
At Miami on Venmo.
Yeah.
You can buy. I don't know if you can you can order for like a later delivery. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can work it work.
Yeah.
We can work something out. Yeah.
I know how to find it.
Great. So which one would you like first?
Why don't we do the personality reassignment?
Okay, great. So, Dan, with a new personality, you get the opportunity to choose a new name for yourself.
Oh.
So, what would you like that new name to be? You can keep your old name if you'd like as well.
This feels like a lot of pressure. How about Choo Choo?
Choo Choo? So like
CHOO.
Great. And what kind of job would you like to have in the future?
A musical theater director.
Musical theater director? Okay, wonderful. All right, I'll have those results out in a second. Sorry, this is like 30 seconds of dead air.
No, it's fine. This is like we're 2.5 hours in.
Oh,
Anybody's.
All right.
Okay, I paid.
Wonderful. All right, Choo Choo. These are new characteristics on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. So for teamwork, you have 8.4. I think that'll do you very well as a what was it, musical theater? Musical theater? Yeah, musical theater director. It sounds excellent for that. Future vision though, only 3.0. So you're more oriented towards the past than you are towards the future. Analytics, 9.1. So you're excellent at analytics and you're very good at analytical tasks, which I don't know how much of that you'll end up doing, but we'll see. Tinkering, 5.4. So you're pretty good at tinkering. It's not your strongest suit, but you're good at working with mechanical objects. Collection, 3.9. So you tend to prefer to throw things away rather than to hold on to them. And project management, 4.7. So you're not a great project manager, but you're not the worst. Ambition though is just 3.4, so not very ambitious. Your likes are considering only the evidence that supports conclusions you've already drawn, failing to think things through, and becoming caught up in unhealthy codependency. Your dislikes are doing research, thinking over your plans before putting them into action, and longing for someone or something. So that's your new personality. I'll wrap it up for you, and then you can keep it close, so in case you ever forget who you are, you'll have this to refer to.
Capture the crinkling sound of the personality.
All right, there you go. And then, all right, and then for the affect juice and the scrying, we can have you look into my scryer here.
Okay. Should I take my glasses off?
No, you can leave the glasses on.
Oh, I don't need to. For some reason, I had to instantly put my eye all the way up onto it.
No. That would that would interfere. I'll let you know when you can look away. All right. So it looks like you are surprised.
Okay.
So let's get you a jar of surprise ready. So if you would, could you hold this? This might be a little bit difficult, but hold this tube into the jar and then depress the button. I can also.
You could switch the microphone.
Yeah, there we go.
It's really just backup audio, so. Okay.
And then press the button until the jar is full. Alright, wonderful.
Switch?
You can just leave those there. Yeah. There's your surprise. You can have this for later. Hopefully it comes in handy. And then I'll have the results of the scrying out in a second.
I'm going to put this in my back pocket. What do you think the chances are I'm going to sit on it, it's going to explode?
Pretty high.
Okay, maybe I'll put it in my front pocket. Or maybe can I pick it up later? I really would like to keep this.
Yeah, you can pick it up
Okay,
later, absolutely.
so I'm going to put it over here.
Right.
It's my surprise bottle.
Alright, so from the results of your scrying, it seems like 96.78% of your atoms come from the solar system. It's very normal for it to be that high, don't worry. 1.38% come from the Blue Snowball Nebula, which is very exciting. That's very far away from here, so they came a long way. And 1.84% comes from other. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not from the other two categories, it just means we couldn't figure out where they're from. It looks like your interests are social media marketing, diners, camping, hunting, and dance. So if you're not aware of any of those interests, it might be time to try out something.
I've never gone hunting before.
Well, might be a good time. And then as for your future, don't relax yet. There's more to come. And but don't be surprised by a personal attack. And it's time to go back on that diet. So, not the best result, unfortunately. So here, I'll wrap this up for you as well. There you go.
Thank you very much. This was a very satisfying retail experience.
Great, wonderful. Glad to hear it.
Okay, I think maybe we'll check out a couple more projects that we can find. There's something over there. Okay, let's go and talk to you. Tell us your name and project.
Hi, my name is Chen and the project is my thesis project called Winding Time. It is about personal time and how it is affected by personal speed. It was inspired by Einstein's theory of relativity, where time is not absolute anymore, and it is fully affected by our moving speed. So I was trying to visualize how personal timelines are changed based on our moving speed. So I can show you guys.
Sure.
So this is the winding key, and you can wind it. After you wind it, and it's gonna. So there's the video. The video is our past 1,000 frames, and it's playing backwards. And so that's why people are working backwards in this video. And the camera is capturing. There are three of us in front of the camera. So it's generating 3 timelines at once. And based on our relative speed, it's gonna stretch differently. Like this one is not that stretchy, but these two are stretchy, and this one is more stretchy. So it is kind of demonstrate how our moving speed to affect the generation of time.
It's a really nice way to tie in the split scan style effect with the concept of time and relativity.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I think maybe there's 2 more projects down here, and we'll say goodbye over at the front. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see. What's here? Is this your project?
Yes.
Can you introduce yourselves and tell us about it?
I think I'm pretty better at it. You have to explain it.
I'm scared now.
I'm Mingna.
Oh, Ming, hello. Yeah, so this is SunAdd. This is a 1-bit adder circuit where the inputs are 2 different solar panels. The prompt is for power computation using solar panels for power. So then we're like, well, what do we think is computation? What do we think is information? We found some definitions of information is just like relative differences. And we found that like, oh wait, that's really similar to like concept of voltage and the concept of like there's a constant amount of energy in the universe, and when we think of a power plant, that's really just a relative density of energy in one place at a point in time with the potential in the future to return to more entropy. It's just like, we're like, oh, that's really similar to that.
It's a very volcanic-like quality to it. I feel like it's like a volcano that's erupting with all of the wires.
Yeah.
Which class is this?
Energy and homemade hardware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a board for just power. It's just like when there's excess, when times are good, when times of sun shining are good, it'll charge a battery because it can get in a state where there's not enough light to generate enough current to turn on the LED, but there's enough to just have the voltage high enough to be like, okay, that's a bit is on. So it's just like a little backup battery that is dead that is charging over there. So it's not plugged in.
But it's a nice merging of sort of like nature and technology in the way that you're presenting it.
Yeah,
I'd love to see this outside.
Oh yeah.
Stumble across this in a park or something.
Yeah, but we've been saying it's we've been saying the basics of personal computer where the target user is the sun. Yeah. And we're waiting for we're trying to attract some VC funding right now.
Check out From the Planet. I was going to make some Superman references. Forgot. My brain is melted. I think we're now at like we're almost at 2.5 hours. I think. So. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Great job, Dave. Okay. What's the planet in Superman? Zoran or something? No. The chat's definitely going to know, and I'll be very embarrassed. All right. I think. I don't know. This is not what you think is an ITP project. This is just Tisch School of the Arts photography installation, maybe. Okay, let's go over to the front. I think we've seen it all. We've done all we can. We've experienced the show that is the ITP show.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
We go to DT and we wanted to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're live on the internet right now.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
So we're just going to interrupt your show and say thank you.
I'm Dan.
I'm Adam.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice
So
to
from
meet
Parsons, yeah? Awesome. And are you continuing the program?
We have one more year left.
One more year.
Awesome.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Oh.
We feel like we know you.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come say hi.
Thank you. Well, we're just wrapping up here, so maybe I'll find you a chat a little bit more.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Is there a project?
There is a project here.
Is there a person with the project?
There are 2 people.
There are 2, and who are the people?
We are the people.
You're going to be, this is the grand finale, by the way.
Yay!
There's a lot of pressure here, because this has been almost 3 hours now. I don't know,
we did hit a lot of projects. I have this like enormous guilt that I live with for the next few days of projects that I missed. But
Guilt is a good thing.
Yes.
Keeps you alive.
Yes. Okay. So why don't you two stand together?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then,
Come here, Dana.
Sorry.
Tell us your names and tell us about this project, and then we'll try to capture some footage of it as well.
Yeah, I'm Dana. Hi, nice to meet you all.
I'm Edith. We met.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a project that we call it Two Flag Protocols. We created it in a critical object class,
Okay, so I would say it's an art installation that me and Dana made as a statement about flagpole protocols. And flagpole protocols basically say when you're allowed to raise the flag to full staff or lower it to half staff. Me and Dana feel that those protocols don't necessarily represent always the maybe causes that people would want to lower the flag to half mast or half staff, and that the people that look at these flags to get a sense of community or mourning as a community don't necessarily get to decide those decisions. And so we made this dance, a digital dance between two flagpoles, trying to make a statement about how sometimes when one country's flag is at half staff, the other country's flag necessarily will be at full staff. And what does that mean? And we tried
also
to
maybe sometimes when we live in the same country and the flag staff is full, but you don't necessarily identify with that
the cause.
state.
Yeah.
Is there some universality to this concept of, I mean, all countries have flags, sort of like a
And they all have
convention,
protocols, yeah.
and they all have protocols.
Yeah,
But different.
And different protocols.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
But this, most cultures, I guess, have this sensibility
Yes.
of this idea of flag.
Yes. And this is why we were going with these two very clear statement of
0 and 1, if you will.
Yes, of the half staff, full staff commemoration or victory or salute.
That's my sister.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy. You know, we were the same year at ITP together.
I know we never discussed
That's
this, but it's
nuts.
I know.
Okay. Well, we'll have to. I'm gonna like figure this out. Okay.
So yes, so we just wanted to see if we can neutralize that situation, and maybe without sides, we could be on the same side.
And it seems to be a very intentional choice that the flags are just clear plastic. Is that something you thought about or tried different things?
Yeah, definitely. I think that me and Dana, coming from the same country, when we see our national flag, we automatically have an emotion towards that flag. And I think we didn't want to make a statement about a certain place or a certain flag, but we wanted to neutralize that. And so every person looking at the object can decide what they feel or what flag they see or don't see in this work.
We also created this line trying to maybe see if people are going to choose side or maybe they're going to identify with one side. It was just like an experiment because we got the street. So
So you designed this that, I mean, I can experience this and view this from here and have a sense, but really the idea is for it to be outside.
Yes.
And then there's contextual information that's displayed.
Yes. In terms of technology.
It's very powerful, actually, that's just automatic moving up and down. I've never really thought about it.
And the code is also kind of a dance.
It's very poetical. Like every function is like half staff, full staff. It was nice to write it as well. Technology-wise, it's stepper motors. We learned a lot about stepper motors and how they use steps basically.
And then they're calibrated by Hall sensors and a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat in the project.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being. This is I think an appropriate project for the last project. It's very dramatic. It's right here in the lobby.
We're all
facing
on the
the
same
street.
side.
We're all together with our flags. Are all going to go up and down together.
Look, they're
All right.
saluting you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little weird. Okay. All right. So I think we can wrap this up. I'll come stand over here. I'm tempted to go outside to wrap things up, but I have a bad feeling that the Wi-Fi will go down. So I think we'll just finish up. We have a nice Pride dish rainbow here. I think Stonewall 50, which I can stand in front of, which is a nice symbol. So thank you for tuning into this. People like looking at me, very awkward. Thank you for tuning into this live stream of the ITP Spring Show 2019. Also with IMA, Interactive Media Arts, the undergrad program. If you want to find out more about these programs, you can go to itp.nyu.edu as well as itp.nyu.edu/IMA. This is a kind of momentous occasion in the sense that the whole program is moving to a new NYU building in downtown Brooklyn next year. So this is presumably the last ITP show on the 4th floor. ITP is also having its 40th anniversary, if you can believe that, this fall. I don't know what anniversary show this is. The shows weren't around for the first however many years. So I don't know, I feel a little bit of a moment here. but we're just going to do the same old awkward thing where at some point we're going to have to like all move around and try to find the right button to press. So let me thank both Adi and Mitru so much. Thank you guys for helping with the camera and doing some guest hosting. Thank you to Lennon, who gave us a little Spanish language hosting there, and all the other people who work at ITP and make the stuff go through. If you're wondering what's happening coding train-wise in terms of tutorials, this is a very light month, so I don't think there will be another live stream actually until June. I'll be at the I.O. Festival in Minneapolis. If you're there, please say hi. But there will be a lot of new videos coming out because I've been recording a whole set of tutorial series about Node and data and APIs and saving to your database and all that stuff. So that'll all be coming out. There's almost 20 new videos actually coming out in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's 6 p.m. Go and do whatever it is you need to do for the rest of the day or evening. If you're staying up too late, go to sleep. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you on a future episode. Goodbye. Hey, okay. I think it's as easy as doing X. There you go. X. There it is. It's